Alright, round two. I've got the other side done. Now I'm going to start cutting it so I can fold it over. You can do it as you go, but it's, like I say, once this stuff touches to itself, it does not want to come loose. So the best thing to do is to pre-cut it. This is about what you want as an overlap to begin with. If you get a little bit and it doesn't really overlap real well, you want a lot. If it doesn't, when it gets hot, it wants to pull away. This is probably not the stuff the pros use, but it's what's easily available at, most fabric stores or easily online at one of the online fabric shops. So first thing I'm going to do is cut it around so that it's pretty close to the right dimensions all the way around. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut all the corners so that whenever I go to fold this thing over, all I have to do is fold it and press. And you don't have to be perfect with this because nobody's going to ever see it. Okay, let's start with one of the corners up here. This one right here. You'll notice when you fold these over, and you can fold this over as long as there's no glue on here, because this glue won't permanently stick. So you'll notice when you pull over and pull on this edge here, here's the point of the corner. You're going to come back at a pretty sharp angle here, like this. And the reason for that will be obvious whenever I go to do the work. And then you're going to do the same thing pretty much over here. You want a pretty good angle on it. Then you're going to take it and fold it back out. And this piece here is pretty important as well. You don't really want to cut that off because you got to pull that back to cover the point. So this pulls back, then these will pull over and it'll all stick down with the glue. So one of the ways of doing it anyway. I'm sure a professional does it completely different, but I've had to teach myself. This you just get about a quarter inch away from the material, and depending on how sharp your turn is, you make cuts all the way around it. Okay, now it's time to spray it up and pull everything over, and that'd be that. It's a little windy, so it makes kind of a pain, but I'll manage. This edge here is very important. You want to get a lot of glue there because that's what you're going to use to keep your edge uniform when you pull it over. If you don't, when you go to pull it over, you'll be pulling it, it'll be drawing it and make it look all wavy. Doesn't hurt to be liberal on this. It's also important that your temperature be right. You don't want to do this if it's like 50 degrees out. Like 60, 65 is your bare minimum. Otherwise, it will cause bubbles on the other side. This stuff gets cold whenever it dries, and as a result, it gets condensation and stuff like that that's not good underneath it. Causes it to bubble up. Generally you just want to let it sit for a minute, but it's pretty warm out today, so I can probably go ahead and get started. You just want to take the thing, you want to hold down, you just want to pull up and fold it over the edge and just stop. You don't want to fold it over. This is what I was talking about setting your edge, because this will cause it to draw back nice and uniform. I mean, it will stick to it. It's maybe a very small edge, but it will stick. Now once you've done that, then you want to come back and start from the beginning and start doing, and you don't want to do your corners. So you just evenly pull and stick a little bit at a time. You don't want to pull real hard. If you pull hard, you'll get it all uneven. It'll be all wavy. This is where you find out just how straight your cuts are on your board. If your cuts aren't straight, it's going to be wavy anyway. Work your way around, cut some of that back. You always pull kind of at a 90 degree from the edge. You never want to pull at an angle. Just pull straight up. You always do one finger at a time. And if you got to go around a radius, just keep going and let it overhang. You can cut this extra stuff off in a minute. And you'll be glad that you cut all this stuff like this. You can see how it forms this edge here. Then this side you pull up real tight here along this edge so that it pulls over on the front edge, and then you just work your way down like normal. And I suppose you can go ahead and end the video because we'll just show them pictures of the finished product.